the warmest memories for me, the whole deck, but especially this area, because I used to spend a lot of time here with the closest comrades and friends that I had.
We made friends here, we always sang. Like at this point here, it was fantastic. We have sun most of the time in this spot, I don't know why, but always sunny, it's great.
It was amazing because in the days running up on our way to Gaza, the men on the ship prepared kebabs for 600 people every evening at 6 o'clock. And they handed the kebabs out here from the cafe, which said Cafe Gaza.
This picture was taken on the 31 May, just before the attack. And it's, you know, a t-shirt with the Belgian flag and the Palestinian flag. And it was Solidarity Belgium. And I don't know why, this day I say, okay, we will maybe arrive to Gaza, so I would put my t-shirt. And I put it, this is Laura and Nurfitri, and it was really a good moment, and just many hours after, they attack us. So you see, are we terrorists?
All aboard the Mavi Marmara, sailing toward Goliath's kingdom, armed with nothing but a stone. All aboard the Mavi Marmara, tell the children of Jerusalem, you are not alone.
I was at the bridge in the beginning. We were following up the Israelis on the radar, and we could see their ships closing close to our flotilla. One is behind the Daphne, and there are three coming this way, and there's one farther away. They are not pressing us, they are just coming closer and closer.
Did they contact us?
No contact, no verbal contact. But the horrible thing was, suddenly, when the small zodiacs, very many, 10, 15, 20 zodiacs, when they came near the ship, then we could see it on the radar. They were like flies all around in the ship.
I was standing here, and after the first unit of prayer, which is about 1 minute long, we heard the Israeli speedboats come towards us, firing stun grenades, smoke bombs, and rubber bullets. We had to really finish our prayers fast, very, very quickly here, and then run to banister. It was amazing. We had old people, young people with us. Nobody ran back to the cabins. They all ran to the railings.
Estas lámparas enormes nos alumbraban las zodiacs cuando se acercaban al barco. Gracias a estas lámparas pudimos resistir el ataque durante 45 minutos más o menos e impedir que los soldados pues pudieran asaltar el barco. We heard the helicopter sound, which came from above, and we looked. We didn't believe in our eyes. We saw the helicopter on the top of Mavi Marmara bringing down the soldiers. From that point on, the battle started.
And I was there recording, and people were coming and from everywhere. And after, when they pushed some bomb, I was afraid, and I come back inside.
Mais ouais, ils ont shooté, il a des trous. Il y a des trous dans le ventre. Mais c'est pas des vrais balles. Mais c'est des billes. Mais même pas billes, ça atteint.
And after I was here, I was really shocked with my camera, and I was waiting. I say to myself, what it will happen in the few minutes after.
Watch out! Hey, guys!
I saw a Turkish activist running to the door, but before he reached the door, he fell down on his back. So he was clapping the floor, asking for help, but nobody saw her. So I realized it will be very dangerous for me to to help him, but since there nobody helping him, so I ran. So I rushed to him, but before I was able to reach that man, I felt like an iron hammer, and I fell down. It's like that. But maybe around 2 or 3 seconds, suddenly the guys came up from the door and rush us to the camp.
Ya acil doktor lazım. Acil doktor. Doktor gördüğün zaman alın. Geri atıyorsunuz İsrail askerleri eline geçiyor. Bunları mümkün mertebe alıp bir yerde zula yapmak lazım. Kimsenin de eline vermemek lazım.
This was a very, very dangerous place because the helicopter was there on shooting and we were walking against the wall so that we don't get shot. This is when I first witnessed the first casualty. He was shot, I presume, from the helicopter. He fell down. When he fell down here, I don't know whether he was alive or dead. Me and Jamal, I grabbed Jamal and we ran down, back onto the stairs, hoping that we'd bring somebody to carry him up because we weren't strong enough. But when we went down the second stairs, the whole staircase was blocked and I couldn't come back up again. And Allah knows what happened to this brother, whether he was one of the injured or whether he was one of the shaheeds. And I also feel guilty at this stage. Because I didn't take him down, but at the time I couldn't do it.
An Israeli commando was brought in. A young fellow didn't have his helmet on. He had no weapons. The weapons had been removed from him on the outer deck, and he was laying here with his arms and legs being held by aid workers, and other aid workers were taking his ammo belts, his backpack. He had a bayonet on his leg, as I remember. They're taking all these weapons of violence off of him and tossing them away. And it's quite a critical moment there. The aid workers had this soldier held by his arms and his legs, stretched out. He was screaming and yelling, and his eyes were as big as saucers. He was terrified, absolutely terrified. I suspect he expected that they were going to do to him what he had been doing to the Turks, but the Turks protected him.
We got pictures of us. Challenger 2 came from the Israelis. All the members of Challenger 2 on the Israelis. Different ships, who's on them.
And I realized it was important as evidence to show the passenger list. People have called this a hit list, and it might be a hit list.
Esta era la última planta donde podíamos subir los internacionales porque en la parte superior estaba ya el satélite y había solo gente de la organización arriba. En esa parte nosotros estuvimos grabando con la cámara de vídeo como los comandos bajaban de los helicópteros y hoy nos hemos dado cuenta que este fue el sitio también en el que murió el periodista y fotógrafo Sabdet Kilikler. Él murió de una forma tan simple como esa. Estaba justo aquí, escondido con su cámara de fotos, debajo de esa pequeña cosa que sale un poco más del barco. Arriba estaban los comandos con las pistolas apuntando. Él estaba con su cámara, salió para tirar una foto y justo cuando iba a tirar la foto recibió un impacto directo en la frente.
Some people were screaming from here, so I ran back to that side and I saw a body not moving. So I helped, it was Arif and Usama. I helped Arif and Usama pull the body to here, exactly here. And I was surprised because I couldn't see anyone, but this body was not moving. It was Javdet. So Arif was looking for his heartbeat. I was looking for his wound and kept thinking, where is all this blood coming from? Where there is no wound on his body. And Usama was supporting Javdet's head. And I don't know, maybe Usama felt something. So he put Javdet's head maybe on the floor, maybe on his thigh. And then he looked at his hands, and I was right there. I was right behind Usama. And his hand was full of blood and pieces of brains. And then I ran here and asked anyone in that area to grab a stretcher to get Jeff dead down there. Then they grabbed him, then they pulled him down.
We got here, and then we start taking the injured people from this area, and we brought them in these pits. So we have a lot of brothers who are lying between, on these beds here, on here, on there, on there, on there, on there. Like every single bed, they have somebody. And here it was kind of like a CBU unit or ICU unit. It was where the operation were taking place.
Maybe it was 15 minutes after the shooting and the incident I had noticed upstairs. I ran downstairs and came down to the PA system. At that stage, there was nobody in the PA. There were a lot of injured people here, maybe half a dozen or more getting very first aid treatment. I picked up the PA, turned it on, and made an announcement to all my colleagues and friends to say that the Israelis were using live bullets. They were shooting indiscriminately. It was time to sit down, to remain as calm as possible, and to go back to their seats.
Assalamu alaikum. This is important announcement. This is from the captain. Please, all the brothers on Ihaha and Mavi Marmara, go back to your cabin and sit on your seats. Go back to your cabin and sit on your seats. Stop your resistance. They are using live ammunition. We cannot protect ourselves. Brothers, one more time. Assalamu alaikum. Important announcement. Please, brothers, go back to your cabin and get on your seats.
And all I can describe it was like somebody had flicked a magnetic switch, because all these men with their pipes and chains, and bars, they all listened, and then they brought their arms down and they dropped the bars and chains. And they turned and all just went walking down the stairs.
When the Israeli soldiers came on the ship, we went on our seats and we saw them coming on board, and they were pointing their weapons to us. So we sit here like 1 or 2 hours approximately all the time. We couldn't move, we couldn't take our things from the luggage, nothing.
Pasaporte en mano, esperamos a que vinieran los soldados a buscarnos. En el exterior de la pecera, todo alrededor estaban sentados de compañeros nuestros, esperando que llegasen los soldados, y fue para nosotros un shock el ver cómo fueron tratados. Uno a uno los fueron levantando y algunos de ellos les encapucharon, y nosotros desde aquí dentro estábamos viendo todos cómo les esposaban en la espalda, les ponían una capucha a la cabeza a más de uno y se los iban llevando.
Each of the critically injured people who was here had doctors and first aid staff with them. I didn't realise when the Israelis took the critically injured that they took them away from all of the doctors and medical staff, and the doctors and the first aid people were handcuffed and they were forced to sit in the sun outside with the critically injured people on the stretchers being taken away separately.
They put this on my back in front of the doors. They were all around here. They searched me, everything, put my pants on, my t-shirt on, and they tied my hands on the back. I said to him, "It hurts me, don't do it like that." And he said, it must hurting. After that, they put a dog from this side, and I was harmful, I couldn't do nothing, and I go to them to avoid the dog, and the dog didn't bite me, but that's why they kick me here. One of my people, the old one, they take him and put him there, but because I was a little bit bigger, they take me from here and take me to the stairs, upstairs. And they take me here. I stop for a while, and then they tell me to go here. Here were my friends, and they turned me around and forced me to come down, and we were like in this position about 4 or 5 hours.
I just was sitting here and I was sitting like this, and my hand was really tight. I mean, it was really strongly tight. And as I said, there is one wounded here, was lying on the floor, and floor was really wet at that time. And he felt cold. The wounded person was feeling cold. I mean, he was shaking. Then I tried to help him, but my hand was tight. That time I felt so bad. I couldn't help him. And then the people were sitting in front of me, and they were really suffering. I could see from their eyes because their hand was really strongly tight.
Desde aquí un soldado nos apuntaba con una escopeta, con un láser en la cabeza, uno a uno, según nos iban señalando. Nos teníamos que levantar de la silla, venir hasta aquí caminando, aquí nos teníamos que poner de espaldas y caminar así de espaldas hasta llegar a este escalón, donde aquí nos cogían de la ropa y nos tiraban para afuera. Una vez que nos sacaron de aquí, de la sala de prensa, nos trajeron frente a esta pared, nos colocaron de esta manera y nos cacharon de arriba abajo, con el pasaporte en la mano, el cual nos retiraron y nos fueron escoltando uno a uno a cada uno de los periodistas internacionales que íbamos hasta el final del barco. Desde aquí, desde este punto donde me encontraba, la imagen que teníamos era del todo dantesca. Cientos de personas se apilaban al fondo, todos de rodillas, esposados en la espalda y mirando hacia abajo. Todos ellos eran o bien musulmanes, o bien de aspecto musulmán, o bien de países árabes. Fue la imagen más racista que pudimos ver en este barco.
700 people on board this Turkish ferry. They were 60 miles from the shore, out in the open sea, in international waters, with no plans for turning back. That's when Netanyahu told his soldiers to attack.
I think they must have lost their mind. The flotilla did not go to Israel, did not want to go to Israel. In any case, the flotilla was going to Gaza. Gaza is not Israel, it's Palestine, and it has been illegally having a siege. And we were going to break the siege to bring humanitarian help and also to make the world understand that Gaza should be free and Israel has no right to impose a siege on the Gaza Strip.
It sounds like it's not an experience that I would recommend to anyone, but on the contrary, taking part in this flotilla was a very important and meaningful and essential experience for me, and I would recommend anyone to take part in future flotillas.
Many people think that they can do nothing, that their governments control the policy and they can do nothing to end the siege on Gaza. What we did on the Mavi Marmara was show to the world that if we work together as a group and we are dedicated, we can make a difference, we can change history, we can break the siege on Gaza. But our work didn't finish when the Mavi Marmara was attacked. Our work continues now because the siege continues and because Palestine is still not free. And so what the Mavi Marmara started, we as a whole world, as all concerned citizens who support peace and justice, we have to finish that work that the Mavi Marmara started, and we have to be organising the next flotilla and the next flotilla until the siege is broken and until Palestine is free, because it's not just a question of Gaza, it's a question of all of Palestine and all Palestinians that need peace and justice.
For days nobody knew just what happened on that boat, because everyone was held in jail and dead men do not float. All the world will remember what happened on that night, and to end the siege of Gaza, more will go and join the fight. All aboard the Mavi Marmara, sailing toward Goliath's kingdom, armed with nothing but a stone. All aboard the Mavi Marmara, tell the children of Jerusalem, you are not alone.